How often do you think about how something gets made or processed? Sure, some things are a little obvious, like the making of wood desks or certain other kinds of furniture, or even certain foods and drinks you have all the time. But other times, what you get or what you eat is made in a way that you might not want to know about because it'll ruin your desire for them in one form or another. But you need to know these things. So allow us to show you products you'll never consume after seeing this video. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, be sure to watch the whole video, leave a like, and comment the hidden message. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
Number 7. Cucumbers. On the whole, cucumbers are something that is truly healthy for you, and they're easy to make. You plant them in the ground, and when they're out, you just full and chop them up and wash them and eat them. A simple yet healthy snack that everyone can appreciate with no muss or fuss. Except for a woman named Jenny in 2014. It was just an ordinary day for Jenny. She went to her local food market to go pick up some cucumbers that were already packaged. But when she picked up one and looked at the plastic packaging, she saw something she wished she didn't. A gecko. No, there wasn't a gecko on the plastic. It was in the plastic and smashed against the cucumber itself, which means that the gecko was on the cucumber when it was picked, processed, and then packaged, and no one noticed. That's pretty sad. She was at an Aldi when that happened, and after she complained, she got a voucher for some new items, and we doubt she used it to go get more cucumbers. Number 6. Fried rice. Take a look at this picture. What do you see? The obvious answer is, I see rice. And you would be right that this is a lot of rice that many of you at home would happily eat. But if you train your eyes to those black dots on the rice, you're going to see something else, and it's not good. Those black dots on the rice are actually weevils. For those who don't know what those are, they are a tiny beetle that can get into places that aren't the best. This includes rice fields. Oh yes, these little critters are truly infamous for getting into the rice and in the fields, and then, somehow, getting through quality control when being packed, and thus can be found in your box of rice at the grocery store at times. But how is that possible? That would be because the female weevil is able to lay eggs in the rice and then cover it up so no one can see them. The process goes on as planned, and the young weevils hatch out of the rice undetected until it's too late. And while we admit that this doesn't happen as often as you might be fearing right now, we can tell you that in a truly infested batch, there can be thousands of these weevils in your rice. Bon appetit! Number 5. Vinegar. Vinegar is something that's in a lot of items, but you don't pay attention to it unless it tastes bad. Seriously, if you look at various items in your kitchen, you might find more vinegar than you might expect. But of course, the surefire way to add vinegar to your meals is just go get a bottle of vinegar and pour it onto your meals at will. But you may want to be careful what bottle you get because you might have a visitor if you pick the wrong one. Because, as you can see here, there are sometimes guests in the form of a vinegar mother, and this mother of vinegar is able to change her form from being something very thin to something very robust. But what is it exactly? Believe it or not, it's actually bacteria from alcohol that hasn't fermented completely. Alcohol is used to break down vinegar in such a way that it gives its sharp taste. But if very unfermented alcohol is used, the bacteria that don't die out will start to eat the vinegar and become the membrane-like substance. To be clear, this doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, and you might want to keep an eye out for it if you want to try out vinegar next time. Number 4. Beans. There are all sorts of beans out there in the world right now, and many praise them for their health benefits, while others just don't like them because they'd rather be eating anything other than that. And this particular entry will help cement that feeling. Because in 2019, a woman from Alabama was in for a very rude awakening as she would find herself looking at a snake within her beans. Specifically, she was boiling some beans and an odd-shaped one floated to the top, and it was actually a severed snake head. Yep, that really happened. Before you freak out, this was a bit of a random occurrence. Apparently, when beans are harvested, they are instantly cut up by the machine. If a snake happens to be in the path of that machine, they get chopped up, and thus the body and the head are put in with the beans. Though it does make you wonder how a snake head got through quality inspection twice. Yes, twice this happened in Utah as well. And that woman from Utah refused to eat beans ever again as a result. Number 3. McDonald's. Fast food. It's something we love to eat when we just don't want to cook or we need something truly stomach-filling. And McDonald's has been the go-to place for fast food lovers for many years. But it's also been the subject of many complaints because of how the food looks in the commercials versus how it looks in real life. And this particular entry is an extreme example of that. You see, there was an urban legend going around that McDonald's food doesn't age, which seems silly on the surface, right? How could it not age at all? But one man went and tested it. He got a basic burger and fries and put it in a sealed container to see if they didn't age. The funny thing is, they didn't. In fact, the only real difference was that they slightly turned a lighter shade of their natural colors. But why does this happen? Well, part of the fact is that the food is made in a way to dry out quickly and thus not become infested with bacteria. Thus, no mold can grow on it in certain conditions. But the other reason is that there's a special compound put into the food to ensure that the burgers, fries, and so on have a long shelf life. This compound, it comes from human hair. No, really, it does. It's taken from barbershops, taken to labs so the compound can be extracted and then put into your food. Enjoy! Number 2, peanut butter. The world would be a much darker place without peanut butter. That's just a fact. It makes one of the greatest meals ever in PB&J's. And of course, it can be used and crafted in various ways if you're clever enough. Finding something in your peanut butter would be a horrifying thing. Good thing it's never happened before. Except, it happens more than you might think. The FDA, that's the Food and Drug Administration, notes that there are certain acceptable things that can be shipped in peanut butter, including bug parts and rat hair. No, really, this happens. The reason for this is that bugs and rats are known to inhabit fields that have these peanuts that are harvested. So, having bits of them in various peanut butter products is sometimes an unavoidable thing. Sure, they could take the extra effort to make sure that it doesn't happen, but would you really expect a big business to do that for you? So, if you are able to stomach eating peanut butter again, be on the lookout for things that just don't taste right. Number 1, meat. We already know there are a lot of things that go into the processing of meats before it goes into your local store and eventually into your stomachs. But something that shocked one Reddit user was that after eating some cow meat, he found himself looking at a microchip. Now, before any conspiracy theorists come out and say that the government is trying to get us all bugged and under control, that's not what's going on here. For the last few years, and possibly beyond that, farmers have been putting microchips into their livestock to keep track of them and also identify certain creatures. Which means that the microchip honestly wasn't supposed to be there. It just happened to make it all the way through. Again, this is not a conspiracy. It's just a random thing that happened, and it's very rare that you would find a microchip in your meat. If you do, don't swallow it, okay? So, what do you think? What do you think of this look at the various products that weren't exactly as wholesome and pure as you might have expected them to be? Which ones really blew your mind in terms of what they really were and how they came to be? Which ones are you well and truly never going to consume again now that the video is done? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.
A simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We will be giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's really your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Go for it.